Hi Year 3, you're joining me this week for our writing sessions. To begin with, I'm going to read to you our text again, Leon and the Place Between, because it's going to be important that you know the story really well to help you with your work this week. Hope you're sitting comfortably. Let's go. Leon and the Place Between by Graham Baker Smith. Let the magic begin.
I don't believe in magic, said Tom as he settled on the grass in the show tent. Around him, the crowd waited impatiently for something to happen. It's not real, hissed Pete. It's only tricks. Little Mo looked disappointed. Shh, now, whispered their brother Leon. It will be magic. You have to believe. Look, it's going to begin. The lanterns went out. In the darkness, the crowd fidgeted with excitement. There was a cough, a whisper, and then a loud hush. At last, a soft blue glow lit the stage, and the curtains twitched. With a ripple of gold braid, the curtains slowly parted. Bang! 3 jugglers tumbled onto the stage to the pounding beat of a drum. Skittles flew, fast and furious, back and forth, up and over. Tambourines rattled, loud and louder. Skittles spun, high and higher. The jugglers twisted, fast and faster. Then bang! The skittles went up. But they didn't come down. Everybody cheered and clapped. The jugglers bowed and bounced away. Once more, there was only darkness. Now one dim spotlight found a barrel organ, still and silent on the stage. Everyone held their breath. The handle began to turn, but there was no hand upon it. Note by note, the tinkling song of a carousel started to dance from the pipes. Up jumped a barrel organ monkey, all made of wood and tiny hinges. He beckoned the moon to light the mechanical toys. A red-eyed crocodile snapped at a running boy's heel. A ballerina turned on her pink satin shoe. Painted animals paraded into the ark, and a flying machine lurched through the air, up, up, and over the moon. At last, the barrel organ fell silent. No one stirred. For a moment, the tiny creaks of the mechanical toys cast their own spell. Then they slowed, jerked awkwardly, and were still. The solemn monkey took a stiff bow, and the curtains closed to loud applause. Now, said Leon, edging forward in the dark. Now it's going to happen. Outside in the night, an owl hooted. With a swish, the curtains opened. Poof! A cloud of purple smoke filled the stage. And there he was, Abdul-Kazam. Sparks flew from his fingertips. Leon could smell the magic. Trust nothing, said Abdul-Kazam, but believe everything. He threw his arms into the air, and the magic began. Paper flowers blossomed from his sleeves. Silk scarves changed colour at a whispered word. Water poured into a hat turned into night air. Bright white handkerchiefs became fluttering doves. The crowd was amazed. Then Abdul-Kazam stepped aside and there was a door into a box. Who will step into the magic? Leon knew it had to be him. He stepped up to the stage and climbed into the box. There was a gasp from little Mo, and the door shut behind him. Inside, the box was not a box. It was a world of doorways to somewhere else. Leon fell down, 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 until he tumbled onto a carpet. "Hello," said a boy in blue pantaloon trousers. "Where am I?" asked Leon. "This is the place between," said the boy. "Between what?" "Between there and back again. This is the place where magic sends you." "Will you show me?" asked Leon. The boy smiled. "Hold on tight." He gave the carpet a tug. With a swoop, off they flew. Everything that disappeared by magic appeared in the place between. Cards and doves fluttered in the lantern light. Coins and rings spun past, flashed and were gone. Ropes, cups and balls danced in the perfumed air. A magician's assistant stepped out of nowhere as another vanished in the blink of an eye. It was a world of astonishment, a world of the unexpected. It was alive with magic. The carpet came to rest. "Do you live here?" asked Leon, his eyes huge with wonder. "No," said the boy, "but my father is a great magician. He makes me disappear every night. If I help him, he will teach me magic." Then Leon felt something soft wriggling behind him. A white rabbit climbed gently onto Leon's lap and nestled in his arms. The boy stroked her ears. "Oh, she is always here," he said sadly. "She was never called back." Leon hugged the lonely rabbit and gazed around the place between, enchanted and amazed. Suddenly, the boy began to float away. "My father is calling," he said. "It is time to go." Leon waved. "Goodbye," he cried. "I'll never forget." Then, from far away, he heard an echo of his own name. "Leon, come back to us! Leon, return!" Leon felt the magic lift him off the ground and back into the darkness. Leon heard a sharp tap. The door of the box opened before him. Leon stepped out, with the white rabbit still in his arms. Abdul-Kazam took a majestic bow. The crowd cheered and clapped. Tom and Little Mo clapped loudest of all. "Did you really disappear?" asked Pete as they shuffled out into the night. "Of course he did," said Tom. "See, this is a magic rabbit." He stroked her long, soft ears. "But where did you go?" asked Little Mo. Leon smiled. "I went to the place that magic takes you," he said. "Can anyone go there?" sighed Little Mo with a yawn. Leon lifted her up onto his shoulders. "Yes, anyone, Mo," he said. "Anyone who believes." Breaking news today, everybody. I'm going to pass to Fred to fill us in more.
Thank you, Susan. News is just in about a boy who has returned from the place between during a magic show. We haven't got all the details yet. More on that story later.
Right then, everyone, you're our newest reporters at French News. Let's find out what our task is today.
Today, we're learning to accurately punctuate questions. We're going to be using question marks today.
Today, we're going to be using our 5 W's and our 1 H. Let's have a go at saying the words together. You ready? What? Why? When? Where? Who? And how? Let's think about strategies to help us with spelling these words correctly today.
What? What has a hat in it? When? When has a hen in it? Who? I always think there's a smiley face in the O. Where? Where has here in it? Come here, where are you going? Why? Why ends in a Y. How. How will we learn the spelling of how?
As a French news reporter, we need to interview some of the characters from our story. So before we interview them, we need to think of the questions that we're going to ask. So I put my question words here. They're on the board. I am expecting them to be spelt correctly when you write your questions. I'm going to pick one. I'm going to go for when. We'll start at the top. Now, it's going to be at the beginning of my question, so I know I'm going to have to spell it with a capital letter. When. Try it with me. When. And I know I'm going to end with a question mark. Let's have a go together. Get your noisy punctuation hands ready. Right, I'm going to have a my turn. I'm picking when. Are you ready? When was the show? Let me clap it out. When was the show? I'm going to write it down. Now, I know I need my capital letter. I don't join my next letter to the capital. That's really important. I haven't written them with capitals over here, so I need to make sure that I do it carefully. You can check it for me in a minute. Right, I think I'm done. Will you check it with me? When was the show? What have I forgotten to do? I haven't ended my sentence, and it's starting with a when as a question word. So I must get my purple pen, and I'm going to add my question mark. That's better. I'd like you to have a think now of a question you could ask one of the characters. Maybe you could be interviewing Abdul Kazam. You could interview Leon, or even Little Mo. I wonder how she felt when Leon stepped into the box. So my question might be, how did you feel when Leon went into the box? When I'm saying my question, you'll notice my voice rises at the end. That always tells me that I'm going to need my question mark. I'd like to pause the video and think about some questions that you might be writing today. Off you go. Well done, Year 3. I think if I listened carefully enough, I could hear you with your questions and your noisy punctuation. One of the questions that I did hear began with a where. Let's turn this into an our turn. What question could we come up with where? If I was asking Leon, I think I want to know where he disappeared to. So let's say it together. Where did you disappear to? Let's say it again. Where did you disappear to? Now, I'm going to have a go at writing it, but I know disappear is a tricky word. It's on the Year 3 and 4 word mat. Let me think about this before I write it. Dis, that's a prefix, D-I-S. Appear, ear, it's got my ear in it. If I can spell ear, there's lots of words I can spell. I'm going to write it down. Check it for me. Where, must remember not to join my capital. Where did you disappear to? And I know I'm not going to forget my question mark this time. It's up here to remind me. It's part of my bits and bobs of my learning today. Question mark. Right then, let's have a look at the Chilly challenges to see what you'll be up to today.
Right then, junior news reporters, these are going to be the bits and bobs you're going to need for today's lesson. If you're Chilly 1, I'd like you to write 3 questions for Leon. If you're Chilly 2, I'd like you to write 4 questions, 2 for Leon and 2 for another character from the story. Remember, don't use the same question words more than once. You're challenging yourself today for Chilly 3. You need to complete Chilly 2, plus you need to include the answers to the questions. Use your knowledge of the characters to help you with this. Once you've finished your work, go back and check it. Have you got question marks for each question? Does each question begin with a capital letter? Is there a spelling mistake that you can check and improve? Well done, Year 3, on a successful lesson. Remember to email your best examples of your work to receive your dojo points and to get feedback from your teacher. See you tomorrow.